Hi everybody and welcome back to another update video on Gran Turismo Sport here on this channel. Now update 1.16 just been released to fix some of the issues caused by update 1.15. But the only problem with this update, guys, it's causing the whole game to re-download all the updates. So the update is actually 24 GB, which is crazy. It's going to take a long time to download, which is really frustrating. But as long as it fixes the issues in the game. But in today's video, guys, we're going to be doing something different. We're going to be testing out two of the cars from the update 1.15 and putting them against each other in a time trial. This is going to be really interesting. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments below. But let's get straight into looking at the two cars. Right guys, both cars that are going head to head today are both in the N600 category. Now the first one is the Nissan GT-R Nismo 2017. Now this is a four-wheel drive car and it's got 591 brake horsepower, so it's got quite a bit of power, decent stats, it's not too expensive either. Now both cars that we're using in this battle I haven't tested out, so it's a first experience in both. Plus we're going to be testing them against each other around the circuit that came with the update 1.15, so that make it more interesting. The only thing I'm going to change on both cars in the time trial are the tyres. None of the other stats I'm going to adjust, so they're just going to be on default. Right, let's get into looking at the second car in this matchup. Right guys, the second car in this head-to-head is the Aston Martin DB11 from 2016. Now this car has slightly more brake horsepower, slightly heavier, and it's slightly more expensive. I don't know why. Stats are pretty similar though, but it's going to be really interesting to see which one out of these two cars, which are in the same category, are faster. So let's get straight into the time trial. So here we go. Right guys, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do 3 clean laps in both cars and I'm going to see which one has the fastest lap. And at the end of the 3 laps in each car, I'm going to do a little replay of the fastest lap and then I'm going to give you my opinion on the car. And at the end of the video, we're going to see which one is the quickest. Now this is just a little trial, a little bit of fun. So if you want to see more of these guys, let me know in the comments below and also request some head-to-heads. So if I've got the cars, then I will try and do it. Right, let's try and get nicely tight in. This car doesn't feel too bad. First half a lap, it feels pretty decent. And the only assist that I've got on is ABS on weak. All the other assists are turned off. So we're going to try and keep it. Oh God, just lost the front there. Just trying to keep it nice and steady as I'm just trying to lay down the power. Now this car has some decent power, but the next car has even more. So it's going to be interesting how that one puts the power down. So let's see if we can get into this turn. This is a tricky turn. This should be a little better in this car, being four-wheel drive. Let's just try and hold it. And let's see what sort of time we can get on this first lap. And over the finish line. So that is a 57.7. Right, so here we go again. Let's see if we can beat that previous time. But now we've got a ghost to go against to help us push the time. But we're going to try and get 3 clean laps. And then we will end the trial. And then we will jump into the next car. But that first lap wasn't too bad. So let's see if we can beat that time. And now we know how the car handles. We can just adjust ourselves. And hopefully we can push it. Now, like I said, both cars are on default setups. The only thing that I've changed are the tyres. So that it just keeps the cars about on a level playing field. They're very similar, in the same category as well, guys. So let's see which one is the better car. And I will give you my opinions, an honest opinion. And we're just ahead of the ghost here. Can we just beat that time? Slow it down into this turn. Oh God, that wasn't the greatest into that turn. And accelerate. Oh no, we got out that corner. Okay, I think the ghost is level with us at the moment. So this isn't going to be a lot quicker. But we'll go on another lap. And hopefully we can try and beat the time. Hold it, hold it. Oh God, just getting the grip. And over the finish line. So we got a 56.8. Oh, that isn't too bad. So that's quite an improvement. Almost a second quicker. Let's see if we can go a little bit faster this time. And see if we can just get that lap time down a smidgen. Hopefully we can go a little bit quicker. We might be able to take another half a second out of that, I think. Right, let's just try and take a little bit more speed through here. This car is very well balanced, I must admit. The brakes don't feel too bad, and I will give it a rating out of 10 at the end of the trial. We're coming to the end of this lap, and that will be the trial over for this one. Oh yes, we just managed to stay ahead of the Ghost, so this is going to be a quicker lap as long as we can nail this last corner, which can be very tricky on this circuit. Try and hold it. Hold it. Oh God, it's sliding around and over the finish line. Are we going to beat that time? It's going to be close. Yes, we do. So there you go. 56.4. Right guys, I'm just going to give you a quick first impressions and a rating for this car before we jump into the next car. Now overall, the Nissan GT-R felt very, very solid. Acceleration was very good. Brakes were very strong. Understeered slightly, but I'm not going to worry about that too much because it was on default setup. The four-wheel drive did help a lot in the slow corners and getting traction out of the corners as well. I'm not sure whether this will be very, very strong in the N600 category because there is some other cars that I felt were a little bit quicker, but we are going to see if the next car that I've chosen to go the head-to-head is going to be any better. But overall, I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. I think for its price, it's worth having in your garage. Now enjoy the rest of the replay, and I will see you when I'm in the Aston Martin. Right guys, here we go with trying out the Aston Martin DB11 2016. Is this car going to be any better? I'm going to do the same after the 3 laps. I'm going to give you a brief first impressions and a rating. Right, let's see if we can get a good start here. Now this car is not 4-wheel drive, so that is going to be a difference in the corners, so we're going to have to be careful. Slow it down. Oh God, a bit slidey. Oh God, almost lost it there. Oh, that's not feeling very stable in that first corner, but let's give it a chance. You never know. Oh God, it accelerates pretty quick. Again, not so confident on the brakes. And accelerate out the turn. Let's just try and keep it on the tarmac. It might take a lap or so just to get our bearings in this car, as we have just got in a 4-wheel drive car and this one isn't, and this one has slightly more brake horsepower as well. Let's just try and get the power down without spinning up. Oh, not too bad out the turn. I'm not sure whether this is going to be any quicker, but we've got another 2 laps to do in it to see if we can beat that 56.4. Right, just hold it. Oh, it's sliding slightly around that turn. And over the finish line, what sort of time we're going to get? Oh, a 58 point. Right, let's try and push it a little bit harder this lap. Now we've got a Ghost. Let's see if we can get a faster lap. We're about a second slower than the GT-R so far, and we're ahead of the Ghost at the moment. That is decent. So we got to 56.4 to beat. And let's just try and take a little bit more speed through the turns. Oh God, this car is sliding all over the place. I'm not very confident on the brakes. And let's try and hold it right onto the apex there. And we're managing just to get away from the Ghost. So this is definitely going to be a quicker lap. Right, we've got to nail this corner. Slow it down. And again, it's sliding all over the place. The brakes just don't feel very responsive. That's what I'm noticing straight away on this car, and it feels like I'm on ice a little bit around the corners as well. It's sliding around. It's losing a bit of grip, but don't forget we've just been in a 4-wheel drive, so that will be a little bit different. And over the finish line, ooh, 57 point. Right, so here we go with our 3rd and final lap in the Aston Martin DB11. Let's see if we can beat that last time we did of 57.2. I'm going to try and push it as much as we can, but I'm not sure whether we're going to get a faster time than the GT-R. And then I'm going to give you my first impressions of this car. Oh God, it slid into that turn. Not very good under braking. Front wheels lock up so easy on this car. I definitely think you would have to adjust a few things on the braking. Maybe put the brakes to the rear slightly, so you can get that rear slid into the turn would help. Because I think the brakes locking up the front is hindering your turning, And let's just try and just beat this Ghost. And we're ahead at the moment. But whether this is going to be close to beating the GT-R's time, I'm not sure. Oh, that wasn't too bad in that turn. Right, we've got one more corner. And we will see whether we've managed to get a faster time. And hold it. Oh, it's sliding. Be careful. Back off slightly. Oh my god, this is all over the place. And over the finish line. So that's the fastest time we've done in the... Right guys, that brings us to the end of this head-to-head, and the Nissan GT-R Nismo 2017 came out on top by over half a second. But now I'm going to give you my first impressions of the Aston Martin DB11. Now this car felt okay, acceleration was pretty decent, it felt very unstable, under braking, those front wheels seemed to lock up a lot, it was understeering horrendously, but I do think you could adjust that with a few adjustments. It just felt like this car didn't have much traction out of the slow corners. I felt it was very hard to put the power down in this car. It sounded pretty good. I think out of the two cars, this one sounded better, but the sounds aren't going to win you races and not going to get you faster lap times. So I think out of the two, the GT-R was definitely the superior car and definitely the one that I would choose in this category. But I'm going to give this one 4 out of 10. Not my cup of tea, probably one that I'm going to sell, not one that I'm going to drive again. I didn't like it, but you're going to get cars like that. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and I will see you soon for some more racing here on this channel. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.